Alright, so next step on pulling the transmission on the 2012 Hyundai Veloster. It's really dirty. I mean, it's been sitting for about 2 years. So before I start pulling anything off, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some foaming engine cleaner, get everything here kind of just cleaned up. And then once it dries, because if you look here in the intake, I don't know if you can see all the stuff that's built up down in there. Here's some more. So yeah, it's just really dusty and dirty. And so before crawling underneath and working on it, I kind of want to give it a little bit of a bath. Yeah, and clean some of this out. I might get my air hose. Actually, I think I will. I'll get my air hose and come through here and blow all that stuff out first. Then I will spray it down, let it sit, hose it off, let it dry, and then next day or two, once everything has dried, I will pull the intake, the battery, the ECU, because all that stuff has to come out, and then I can get to the transmission. Alright, so we're just going to give this a quick bath and see how things go. Alright, and now it says I got to wait about 10 to 15 minutes. Let the stuff loosen grime and stuff up, and then hit it with the hose. So that's what it's going to do next. I think my can might have been a little old, but it does definitely seem to be lifting the dirt. So we're going to let that sit, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, so after a quick spray down, you can see it's a little cleaner. I just got those rags up there soaking up any extra water that was down there by the coils. But other than that, yeah, it came out not too bad. And at least this side's pretty much better. So, alright, I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll start pulling the intake out. Okay, if you've never pulled your air box out or your intake, you're going to need Phillips, a number 10, and a pair of pliers. There are, I believe, 3 number 10s. There's one there, one down in here, and one back in there. I'm not sure if there's one inside the air box. I can't remember. It's been a while since I did my other one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cover off so I can pull the tube off and all that other stuff. So let me find a pair of pliers so I can get these hoses. Actually, apparently I can pull them off by hand. So let's move that out of the way. Maybe. There it goes. So that's one. Let's see if I have enough strength to do this one. So, there it goes. Alright, so I guess I didn't need a pair of pliers after all. So, we'll just stick that there for now. Alright, so now I just need to pull these clamps off so I can pull the tube and get the air box. So let me grab those tools real quick. Alright, so I just loosened that up. Now I'm going to try and get that off there. That's one. What do you think? Excess blow-by? That is a lot of oil in the intake. Alright, I got to take a picture of that so I can show my friend. Alright, so let's see. Did I get that one loose enough? Maybe not. Alright. Pretty sure that's loose. Yeah, it's loose. Okay. There it goes. Yep, there it goes. So, yep. This end's full of oil too. Well, it looks like the inside of the air box definitely needs to be cleaned out. It looks like sand and I don't know what else, bugs, tree. Alright, like I said, it was just 310s. In order to pull it out without really messing with it, I just reached in with a pair of needle nose and pulled the two bolts, this one and this one here, and then I can reach this back one, and it came right out. So it's this clutch line, not brake line. I think I said brake line the other day in the video, but this is a clutch line. You have to unbolt it here so that this line can be pulled up out of the way a little bit, so when you drop the transmission you don't hit the metal line and damage it. Alright, so the intake's out of the way. It's been a few hours, everything's dry, ground's dry underneath. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get the things on the bottom we need to get out of the way. There is that plastic shield down there that we need to get out from the bottom. The lower transmission mount needs to come off, or motor transmission mount, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go ahead and pull the hot pipe. You don't have to, but I'm going to, because I plan on doing some other stuff, and I want to make sure the hot pipe hasn't gotten full of oil like the upper intake did. So let's go down on the bottom and start pulling things apart. Alright, so what do we need to remove? We need to remove this plastic shield, because we're going to need to be able to pull the transmission down and out of the way. Let's go ahead and just screw that in for a second. We need to pull the transmission motor mount here. So one bolt, those two bolts. And we're going to go ahead and pull the hot pipe out of the way. And then up inside of here, right there, is the vacuum pump that we're going to go ahead and pull that too. I'm not exactly sure, but it does interfere, so we'll need to get it out of the way for a bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop it. This way I can also check to see if it's got any damage, because there is a recall on those, and the where the plug connects, they have a tendency to crack. So alright, so first thing we're going to do is pull this plastic shield. For whatever reason, I may not be able to tell, but all of the undercovers are missing from this car. I might ask if anybody has them for sale somewhere, just to put them back on. But for some reason, my friend didn't know why the dealer took them off, so we will deal with that when the time comes. So yeah, so next thing is this plastic cover. Alright, and just like that is out. So what you have is 4 screws. One here, one here, one here, and one where the other connects. And then you've got this little deal here you just need to lift up on the one piece. It just sort of is a hook. Alright, so next thing I'm going to pull is the hot pipe, because it'll be a lot easier to pull that out of there while the engine's not rocking, and then I will pull this mount last, and then I'll get up in here and start pulling this other stuff out. Okay, so I started to pull the hot pipe out, and as soon as I did, yeah, that's a drip of oil right there. So this is full of oil. This probably whole thing is full of oil. So I may have to pull the front bumper to clean the intercooler. Now I have the stock intercooler off of my 2016. If this intercooler or this pipe is just full of crap, I'll just probably swap out the parts for mine. Mine were clean and they're in storage, but yeah, that's a lot of oil. Alright, because I wasn't sure how much oil. I put my finger in there. It feels like even where this little dot is, it feels like it's just full of oil, and there's a ton of oil in the rubber hose. So I went ahead and put a napkin in here, a towel, just to keep it from dumping whatever oil when I lower all of this stuff, so I don't get it all over me, because I really don't want to wear oil today. So, alright. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these two, and I'm going to do this clamp up here. I'm just going to take this whole section out in one piece, and then we'll see what we get. Back in a sec. Alright, so we got those two bolts out, and it ended up being a 12. And I'm just going to put the two bolts back in the hole, but as you can see, we got the pipe out. I have yet to stick my finger up in there to see how much oil is in there. Nothing is dripped out, so it's probably all in this pipe here. Alright, so put the bolts back in, this way we don't lose it, and we're going to stick our finger in there. I mean, there is a coating, but at least it, for the most part, it's pretty dry. So, there's a sheen of oil, but not bad. Now the question is, can we see inside of here? Nope, it's dark as a boot. Alright, so got a breaker bar, and let's see if that works. Ah, perfect. So it's a 17 on both sides. If yours have never been off like this one, then a 17 breaker bar will come in extremely handy. And then these two back here are 15s. Oops. Maybe they're 14s. I think they're 14s, not 15s. Alright, let me grab a 14. So, yeah, I was wrong. They are 14s. Of course, it has not been off. Oops. Almost lost the camera. Alright, two 14s. And we're going to pull the bolt out. And we're going to slide that all the way out there. I have one of these I rebuilt. It's still a factory set, but it has the urethane bushings. And I will most likely be using that one when I put this back together. And I put the bolt back where it belongs so I don't lose it. Same thing with these little ones. I don't know if they'll be in the way later, but for now I'm just going to set them here so that they are easily found. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to unplug this guy. So we're going to just click and wiggle, 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 and that comes right out of there. Okay, now where is the bracket? So it's this one. I think there's one you have to get from the top, but I believe it's this one and the one straight above it, and then you can move this out of the way. Or option B would be to get the two bolts here and here, I believe. Yep, I'm going to do it that way. Because I want to take this out anyway, so I can check it. Oh, man, there are so many cobwebs from spiders. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the pump here. I've unplugged it. I will most likely have to remove this bracket just because it's connected to the transmission anyway. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out because it needs to be checked. Alright, so what I did is I took the two side bolts out first, and then I pulled the clamp back for the vacuum tube, and then I just pulled it off to the pump, and now I can get these two brackets bolts out of there, and that will be clear. Okay, so the next thing we had to do once we took the two bolts out, they are pinned in. I don't know if you can see those. So there's two pins. So once you take the two 12 millimeters off, you have to pull this away. And then you've got one, two, see the best way to see these, 3, 4. And these are what the hoses are clamped to so they don't vibrate. But now the bracket's completely out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and take the two tins that we took off originally and put them back here. You may or may not need to do this, but I like clearance, and this way I'm not going to have to fight with it later. And it literally took a minute to take this bracket out of the way, so better to move things than to break things. But this is attached to the transmission side, so it is probably better to get this out of the way. And the two side bolts that came from that bolt directly into the transmission are 12s. Somewhere I lost one. Alright, just putting it back in the transmission for now, the bolts. Put them in finger tight, that way. That's the second one. We're going to put it right back where it was because we really don't want to lose any of these things. Alright, so let's see, what else do we need to do down on this side that could be in the way? Pretty much, I believe, other than getting a jack stand up in here to support this, I think we're pretty much, other than we got to start unbolting the transmission, but we're not going to do that until everything is ready to come out. I will unbolt the top part first, leaving the bottom, and then that way I only have to work from the bottom. So there are a number of bolts through here. I believe there's 8 or so. So we got these two, one up here, a couple on the back, and then the rest of them are all up on top. We will need to pull this clutch line and replace that. Now I have not replaced or ordered this hose. I should, but it's fine because I can do it at any time. But I did order the master. I ordered the slave cylinder for the pedal, and like I said, I did order a brand new clutch. Now I'm hoping that when I take this apart, the flywheel still looks great. If not, I will have to order one. So that is going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I separated the elbow from the hot pipe, and maybe hard to see in there. but it is completely coated in oil. You can really see it where the hot pipe, man, oh geez. Yeah, you can definitely see it. I don't know.